funny. Okay, but we do have a great guest who's not going to make weird, unsignable music for us tonight. He's from Birmingham, Alabama. He's a songwriter, although he's also a performer and does lots of things. But his main thing that he's known for these days is as a songwriter. He's written songs for J-Lo, Ariana Grande, Alessia, Cara, writes with Noah Cyrus. He's also signed as a performer on the Motown label EP Entertainment, and happens to be the brother of one of our students who is going to interview him later. But you're going to get to hear him make some music first. Please welcome Sebastian Kole.
I am totally gonna make weird music. All right. I'm not even gonna hold you, so. Yeah. Can I get a little more of this? Just a little bit. Check. Fight for something. You here for a reason, make sure you don't die for nothing, yeah. Grow up quicker than most and then go get a lot of money. You hear the corner calling, you gotta take it all in. You gotta spend for you got it to make sure they see that you ballin'. You gotta cop that new Bentley on credit that you never started. You gotta be the man, yeah, feed your fam, yeah. Post your pictures on your Instagram, yeah. Make the women love you, pick one. Then make them hate you when you get one. Are you tired yet, little boy? Or are you iron yet, little boy? I tried to be iron, stay true. I tried to be iron and come through, but boys break too. Oh, boys break too. I tried to be iron for you. Oh, find a wife. You're supposed to be married before you turn 25. You've been missing church on Sunday, boy, as you living right. And 10% of that go to God as you giving right. You gotta cop a ring that's as big as a house when you marry. It's gotta cost you at least about 17 weeks of your salary. You gotta be the man, you'll feed the block. But never run when you see the cops, 'cause they shoot. Yeah. Are you tired yet, little boy? Are you iron yet, little boy? I tried to be iron, stay true. I tried to be iron and come through, but boys break too. Oh, boys break too. I tried to be iron for you, for you, for you. Oh, I tried to be iron for you, baby. I tried to keep trying for you, baby. Oh, I tried to stop crying, baby. I've been trying to be quiet, baby. And I did it all for you. I did it all for you. I tried to be iron, stay true. I tried to be iron, come through. But boys break too. Oh, boys break too. I tried to be iron for you. All right, okay, cool. You guys are nice and drunk. I like drunk, nice people. So, I'm a songwriter, and I know that's probably not all that exciting. That's what I do for a living. And I started off writing songs a lot like that, like just like little a cappella pieces and things, and playing things on pianos. And I'm a really happy person, but I write really sad music. So I'm gonna sing you a sad song. I mean, that song was kind of sad too. All right. I need therapy. Okay, let's just go. This is a breakup song. It's called Choose You Again. You'll be okay, that's what they say, every time heartache comes my way. But they don't know the pain of living without you. At the end of the day, do they lie awake, praying for angels to fly them away? 'Cause that's the way it feels when I'm not around you. Whoa, oh, oh. See, everybody has their own opinions. Love doctors, heart physicians, try and diagnose my heart's condition. And whoa, oh, oh, no matter what I try to do, something pulls me back to you, so I stay. Oh, and I stay, and I choose you again. With tears in my eyes, every moment we spend, worth every time that I've cried. Though friends talk against us, who needs their advice? Your kiss my addiction, your love is my vice, and I'll choose you again. Oh, again. Though our love dispels the myths and fairy tales, no dreams or fantasies. It's been heartaches and breakups, then passionately make up. It's our reality. Whoa, see, everybody says that I should run. It's easier said than done. I know I found that one. And every time I try to leave, I hear your heart cry out to me, so I stay. And I stay, and I choose you again. With tears in my eyes, every moment we spend, worth every time that I've cried. Though friends talk against us, who needs their advice? Your kiss my addiction, your love is my vice, and I'll choose you again. They say it's just a waste of time, wishful thinking, youthful dreaming. They also say that love is blind, but mine can see you and me. Cups of that XO, pictures in my old phone. I should call one and go home. Said I've been in this club too long. The woman that I would try is happy with the good guy. But I've been drinking so much that I'ma call anyway and say my name, say my name. If no one is around you, say, baby, I love you. If you ain't running. That's enough of that. You guys are drunk, and I like it. So I get to introduce this is my baby sister, this is Praise. I love her.
Hey guys, bear with me, I'm kind of weird, awkward. So it reads here that you're from Birmingham, Alabama. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Wow, like I didn't know that. So what was your experience like being from the South, growing up in the church? How did it influence your music and make you who you are today?
I mean, basically, everything you hear me play, I grew up playing in churches, of course, because church is like one of the few places where you have instruments, right? So I got a chance to just express myself. And my mom used to write songs, that lady back there. That's her. And she would make up songs all the time. And then I got into the habit of making up songs, and yeah, that's how I started.
Awesome, that's great.
Great.
Before you became a songwriter, what other jobs did you have?
Crack dealer. No. Um, no, I've never sold crack in public. No. I worked in banks for a long time. I was a banker for quite some time, and I played piano for churches and things like that. Actually, I had a lot of jobs. I worked at like several grocery stores, amusement parks, restaurants. I went basically anywhere they wouldn't fire me. Yeah.
Okay, so what's the music scene like in Alabama? Like, why are you not there? Or what's going on?
Because I am the music scene. No, I'm just kidding. The music scene in Alabama is actually growing now. Thank God for like the internet and Spotify's and SoundCloud. Speaking of which, that first song you guys heard me play, it's on SoundCloud. If you guys just look for me on there, I have a whole EP on there that I'm trying to get people to listen to. So it's a growing industry. There are lots of live musicians, but not really a whole lot of like venues. But it's growing.
So you really make money off of songwriting. How did you get into that? Like,
In the industry,
what was the process?
When I was in undergrad, I used to hang out with this guy named Mike, and Mike got signed to Atlantic, and he went off to become a pop star, but it didn't work out. But he started getting his foot in the writing game, and he came home one summer and was like, yo, we should just write some hooks. So we just started writing some hooks, and one of those hooks ended up being getting on J-Lo's project, or it was on the Step Up 4 soundtrack. So that's like my first published song. And then I took the money that I made from it and just moved to LA, figured I'd try it out. And it worked.
Do you recommend that to them?
No.
Okay.
I would recommend it if I were a songwriter right now. I am a songwriter right now, aren't I? But if I was trying to break into the industry, I would probably go a much safer route. Just find you somebody that you believe in, an artist that you want to work with, or even if you want to do it yourself, and just put out material and, get people to notice you and then kind of get the invite up. That way you don't have to like, can I just tell this story? All right. So you guys, listen. That story, same thing though. I was working with this guy named Mike. He gets signed. He ends up coming back home. It doesn't work out for him. So he comes home. We start writing some hooks. I don't even know how this process works. One day I get a call from a lawyer that says, "Are you Sebastian Kole?" And I go, "Am I going to jail?" And he goes, "No, this song's gonna make it on J-Lo, blah, blah, blah." So boom, it takes me forever to finally get the check. I told my mom then, I'm like, "Mom, I got this money coming." And like it was like a year later before I actually got that money. So I got the money, paid off all my bills, and I don't know, anyway. So I pack up and move to California because I'm thinking, okay, I got $5,000. I can live a year. This is gonna work out for me. No idea how expensive it is to live in LA. So I realized I got about 2 months maybe if I work it right, and I get out there. But I had a friend who had already moved out, let me crash on the couch for a while, and every day I was just going to different writing sessions every day, and every time I went, they go, "Yo, you can really write. You should come here tomorrow." And literally every day I'm going around, and it was Halloween 2012 that I did a session like that, and I met this woman who took me to meet Ethiopia Habtemariam, who at the time was the vice president of urban at UMPG and the president of Motown. And so she signed me, but I was flat out of money at that point. So I wouldn't suggest you do that unless you got like a money plan. But I mean, it's so much easier to create content and get content in the world and do these shows. I noticed that a lot of people up here like, promoting shows, like doing those shows, building up those fan bases, even if they're just $1 shows, man. $1 is a whole dollar, man. Like that's a whole last dollar that you're gonna need at some point. Like on the way over here, I was just telling my grandma, you know what I've never seen in my life? And we decided that this is a myth. An extra dollar. I don't know if it exists. So, but stuff like that, I think that's a much better way to do it. Yeah.
So you've been signed. Can you talk about your experience being signed, whether you like it, whether you recommend that for people who, on the songwriter perspective and the artist perspective?
As a songwriter being signed is not so bad. I would, because, songwriters were kind of like, we're creatives and we don't want to get jobs, and someone will offer you a check to give you a little time to kind of get your life together. So, but you have to be careful with what you're signing away, right? You do a co-pub deal, of course. If you're new in the industry, they want to give you a co-pub deal. You have to think, I'm literally offering somebody half of the money I think I'm going to make. They're offering me $150,000. Had I known, what I'm saying, had I been in a slightly better financial position then, I would not have done that, right? Like, the songs that I've written have generated millions and millions of dollars. I've made a couple million, which is great, but like, I could have made twice that had I not, right? So that all depends on what your financial situation is. I never tell someone, no, man, keep it all. Some people are like, man, you should stay independent. You got 100% of whatever the hell that is, right? But if it's working for you, though, do it, right? I never tell anybody not to do it. If it's working for you, if you're making some money and you're starting to see a plan, you guys seem like you guys are all over the industry. So, if you got a friend here that's good at marketing, and a friend here that can help you manage, and a friend here that can produce, and a friend here who can record, and you guys can get a thing going, go with that. Because all you're going to do in the industry is we're basically going to do the same thing for you. We're just going to charge you half the money you make, plus your manager, plus your other manager, plus your publicist, plus your stylist, plus everybody else, right? So if you got some friends around that you guys can really get a movement going, word of mouth is still how things happen, or now I guess it's forwarded or reposted. If you guys can get a movement like that going and build up something, go for it. If not, come see us. We'll take half your money. Yeah.
As an artist.
Okay. Artistry on a label is very different now than it was then. And I was signed as an artist right as things were going from the music industry can't sell any records to we're streaming everything. I came up right in that middle ground, which was a weird place to be. Because people were starting to do stream things, it made more room for the kid in his room who used to be me. I wrote 95% of the stuff I ever wrote in my bedroom, right? But I had no way to get it out of my bedroom. So I used to have, I'm old, guys. I'm probably twice most of you guys' age. So I used to have to just burn CDs of stuff and write on them with markers and give them to people who had CD players, which is crazy. I haven't seen a CD player in God knows how long. That's right. So, but with the advent of again, your SoundClouds and your TikToks and all this stuff, people could go from their bedroom to the world, right? There was no middle ground, there was no CDs to burn, and I had a slow CD burner too. So I could only sell 10 CDs a week. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't even know how funny that is because it's true. So, but now you got that as an opportunity. You can get out and do that. If I was as an artist, I feel the same way though. Just build your thing. The less that someone has to think for you, the less they charge you. All labels do is charge you for their thoughts. That's nothing against a record label. They might have some great thoughts. You might come in and they go, yeah, I really like that music, but if you did this and added a guitar and a bell and a whistle, we could sell 1 million copies. They're going to charge you for that, right? But if you can think of, hey, we need a bell and a whistle and a guitar, and they don't have to think about that, they'll give you more money to do your creative thing. So record labels are basically banking institutions. Don't think of them as anything else. They're just banking institutions whose collateral is you. So.
So a lot of people know Here by Alessia Cara. That's the big thing, big single and whatever.
Yeah.
So can you talk about, one, writing that song and working with Alessia?
Okay, all right. Writing that song. Oddly enough, so her first album, which was Know It All, I wrote 98% of that album. And I know I don't look like a 17-year-old Italian girl, but I think like one. I do. But writing that album was that was my first time someone gave me a project to like, hey, you can do this, right? So this is like my first time, and I'm like, I'm gonna prove everybody wrong. I can really do this. What happened was right before that, I got this opportunity to write for Rihanna. And honestly, I was intimidated to write for Rihanna. So I told my manager, I don't wanna write for Rihanna. Oh, it don't matter. I wrote for Rihanna later on, right? But at the time, I was intimidated. I was like, I don't want to write for Rihanna. I want to make my own Rihanna. And this is my way of kind of like, weaseling out of having to write for Rihanna and being told I could. Okay. So he was like, okay. And he actually brought me somebody to write for. So I was stuck in that situation. I was like, okay, I got to make this work. Otherwise, I'll never be able to write for Rihanna's. And, getting to know her and just one of my main focuses in writing for her was to try to figure out what her, not necessarily her voice was, but what was her voice, right? So we spent like 2 days just talking, right? We had 2 full-out 8-hour studio sessions where we did not record a note. I just talked to her. I just asked her about, who are you? What do you like to do? Where do you like to hang out? And more importantly than her answers was her vocabulary. I don't know if you guys noticed this. This is the thing I think I'm proudest of in that album, is that you don't know I wrote it. I'm really proud of that. But if you look on every song, you'll see Coleridge Tillman, Sebastian Kole, written and produced by, right? But I'd spent 2 days just trying to figure out, how does she talk? What kind of words does she use? What's normal for her to say? How does she think? And then kind of taking that, and then once I understood the character, I basically just kind of dropped it into different situations. Well, the last day we were together was a Sunday. We were getting ready to like leave out. She was in Toronto. We were both in Toronto. And we were getting ready to leave, and we had one more session. So I was like, well, every day I would ask, hey, what's on your mind today? She would tell me something, and then I'd basically remember all the stuff we talked about, make a song, right? So this particular day, I go, what's on your mind today? She goes, nothing. I say, well, nothing? Nothing. And she always has something on mind. So I was like, well, what'd you do this weekend? Nothing. Well, I went to a party, and I was like, well, how'd you like it? I hated it. And I was like, got it. The song was originally titled I Hate Parties. That's not a joke. It was really called I Hate Parties. And so, just kind of taking that and basically describing, I've been to that party 100 times. I'm sure everybody here has been to that party at least 100 times, right? You go and it's just like, this is trash. Who invited me to this, right? These people smell funny. So just tried my best to, just tell that story as descriptively and linearly as I could. Yeah.
Who is the favorite artist that you've ever written for?
Praise.
Okay, like famous.
Oh, okay. Praise. Okay, no. Praise has her own French toast line, okay? That's pretty famous to me. She actually does have a thing called Praise's French Toast. That's pretty famous to me. I don't have anything named after me like that. You know who I really enjoy writing with, though? And there are lots of people. Kelly Rowland is one of my favorites. She is a real live sweetheart, like in real life, very, very like just a doll. Alicia Keys is like that, just I like to talk, but like she's just like, oh yeah, sit down and tell me about how you feel, how are your feet feeling. She's very just into you. You're just like, oh, I thought I was supposed to. Surprisingly, who's really nice? Messed me up, Mariah Carey. You hear the horror stories. They're not real. She was the sweetest lady. She brought me Prosecco. This is true. She brought me Prosecco. She was really nice. Usher's, most of the people that I work with are real dolls. When I Fifth Harmony, every one of them, they're sweethearts. Most of the people that I get a chance to work with are dolls. I've only had one bad writing experience, and it was with a guy who wasn't signed. Like, you'll probably never hear of him again because he was just a dick. So nobody, you know what I'm saying? But most people are really nice.
Awesome. Yep, that's good. How do you get past writer's block?
No such thing as writer's block. And anybody who tells you that, what you're doing is you're thinking this isn't the world's best song. That's true. It's not the world's best song. That don't mean you can't write it, right? As a matter of fact, write it. Even if it's trash, write it, and then write a better one tomorrow. right? My first manager told me this. He said, if you wrote your best song yesterday, then you should have quit writing songs yesterday, right? In other words, no matter how good the song you wrote yesterday was, there's a better song that exists today, and you can't be afraid if it's not as good as it was yesterday. It's like there's literally a song in everything. Quick side story. How did I even get started writing songs? My very first car was a 1984 Toyota Corolla. Okay, I was born in 82. Okay, so this car would be 35 now, right?
The age on the internet is wrong.
Right, age on the internet, that's another story. 84 Toyota Corolla, right? And there was my mom, it was my mom's car, passed it down like an heirloom. And I'm really appreciative of it, but there was a stick shift, and there was nothing automatic about it except for when you got hot, you just rolled the window down and automatically drove faster. That was it. It had no radio, right? And so my challenge to myself to keep myself entertained, this is before cell phones and all this stuff was a thing. You guys wouldn't know that life. In order to keep myself entertained from point A to point B, I would make up a song from point A to point B, right? And so I would learn to just kind of sing everything I saw or rap everything I saw, just try to make little rhymes and stuff out of everything I saw, which taught me a couple things. There's only so many times you want to rhyme car and far. But secondly, that there is a song in absolutely everything. Songwriters, I don't know, most of you guys might be in business, but for the creatives who are in songwriting, there is a song in everything. One of the biggest songs I ever wrote was about hating to go to a party, right? Like just talking about the people at a party. There is a song in everything, like, which is so confusing to me sometimes. I listen to songs and I feel like I do not want to hear another song about Xanax. Not that I'm anti-Xanax. Okay, I'm anti-Xanax. No, okay, whatever. You take it, do whatever. But what I'm saying is there has to be something else to sing about, right? Like there's something else out there worth talking about, right? In creativity, you find that the geniuses of the world can make much ado about nothing. Like the Seinfeld show or Friends, like those shows were literally television shows about nothing. Nothing. Like what was Seinfeld about? Nothing. What was Friends about? Nothing. Like it wasn't about anything. It was just about some friends, right? Like that was it, right? And you probably never even thought about that today. You just like, yo, that wasn't about a damn thing, was it? We watched that for 13 years and I don't even know what it was about, right? But the geniuses of the world, they have a way of kind of making something spectacular out of what you skip over. The thing you think is so mundane is really quite important. There's a song in it. Don't be scared of it, even if it's not the best song today. Rewrite it tomorrow.
Can you tell us a little bit about your songwriting process? We know it's a little weird.
Okay, my songwriting process is weird. If I'm writing for me versus if I'm writing for someone else, I'll talk about if I'm writing for someone else. If I'm writing for someone else, normally producers will play you a track, and anybody here produce? You guys produce? Shout out to producers. Send me some tracks. That is not a joke. Okay. That was serious. But normally, like a producer, you go into the room and they play you some tracks. And a lot of people just like to sit there and kind of vibe out with the track, for hours and days. That bothers me. Because normally the track is a loop, right? It's pretty much a 4 to 8 bar loop of chords. Once I understand the chords, I have to walk away from it. So I hear it and I go, okay, I'll be back. And I go outside and I kind of keep that loop playing in my head and I write over it. Which allows me to write much quicker than most people because I don't have to wait for the loop to start over. You know how like you'll have an idea, you're like, oh, no, wait, it's coming back around. And then you mess up right there, you're like, okay, it's gonna come back around this time, I got you. Right, so, but because I have it, I just kind of run it in my head, I can start it over whenever I'm ready and just kind of write. If I'm writing for someone else, it's basically the same idea. I just spend a little bit more time in the room with the person, just kind of asking them questions about how they feel about it. Yeah.
You go to Songwriter Camps. Tell us about your experience there. How you even get into Songwriter Camps?
Songwriting camps are amazing. Sometimes. Most of the time they're really dope though, and most of the time you get invited. I go to one every year. We do one in Bali every year. It's a 10-day camp, and you bring like 7 writers and 7 producers and 7 artists, and you just kind of bounce around, make different combinations of that, and just write the best song you can, and that's wonderful. The one thing I think that the industry has helped me with is understanding that a songwriter or a creative, for example, there's probably someone here who says, I'm a rapper. That's what they think they are. And so if you ever need a rap, you'll call that person and go, hey, I need a rap. But you're not just a rapper, right? You're a songwriter. And songwriting, I can take elements of this and put it here. I can take elements of like these super poppy, there's this woman I work with, her name is Dio. And she's this Nigerian woman. She lives in England, but she has this super poppy melody style that I would never come up with, right? And I have this like very soulful R&B thing that I got going that she would never come up with. Sometimes I submit to her melodies and she lets me write the lyric over this melody I would have never thought, right? And sometimes I'll have some words that she'll put this super pop thing to that I would have never thought. But we put all these things together and it really opens up your mind to like, what am I as a creative? I can create anything. Like I'm not stuck to a genre or anything like that. Yeah.
Out of all of the great moments in your career, what's your proudest moment?
In my career, I got a check for $5 million. I'm really proud of that. And no, you can't borrow any. But no, I worked on Alessia. That was Best New Artist. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a Grammy Award. That's a big deal. I was the first Spotify Secret Genius Award winner for Best Social Message on a Song. Right? Period. Right? There wasn't one before me. I was the first to ever do that. I've won there are lots of moments that you can be proud of as far as like accomplishments. I think really the proudest moment though is the fact that I get to wake up every morning and say, I do this for a living. Yeah, like I do this, like, you know what I'm saying? That's like a really proud moment. I do this for a living. Yeah, I'm like that.
What's going on in your musical career? What's coming up in the next year?
You guys, I'm gonna let you guys in on a really big secret, okay? This will be the first group I've ever told this to. Well, 2 big secrets. 1, I have a weed farm. And it's legal, right? So all of my music will be really slow this year. No, okay, that was 1. But no, I'm really working on something really, really big coming from a Songwriters Camp. So every year we go down, we write these songs, right? And you get these artists and blah, blah, blah. But sometimes you're in a room with somebody and you write something and it's amazing, but you just don't know, like, who sings this, right? You don't know where to send it. So this year I'm in Bali and I write this song that I really like, that I play it for people, they really like it, but we can't think who could sing it. So I tell my producer friend, I'm like, bro, we should just do like a animated group, like the Gorillas, right? And he's like, yeah, that's a great idea. But you know how you tell your friend something like that, like, we should go to space. And he's like, space. You know what I'm saying? We should go at night. The sun, you know what I'm saying? We got to go at night. It's one of those kind of ideas. So yeah, I'm like, yeah, we should do that. He's like, yeah, that's a great idea. So he comes home. We get back to LA, and about a week later, he takes a meeting with this company called Bad Robot. Bad Robot has a record label, right? They got a few artists that they're trying to develop. He's a producer, well known. So he goes in and they talk to him about the artists. But Bad Robot also does a lot of the fabrications and animations for Star Wars, Star Trek, things like that. So as he's leaving the meeting, one of the guys goes, hey, you ever thought about being an artist? He goes, nah, I'm a producer. I'm married, I got kids, I'm old. It's like, not even like an animated group like the Gorillas? He goes, what? We just had this discussion. So we're now building an animated group like the Gorillas with Bad Robot. And I'm really, really excited about that. I'm really, really excited about that. And like, I tell that story to also say that the music industry is the gateway drug to all kinds of creativity, right? And you realize how integral music is to film and to video games and to commercials and to everything, right? You need music everywhere, right? So I'm really excited about that and the places that I believe it's gonna lead.
Those are great answers.
Thanks.
You're gonna sing another song?
I'll sing you one more song.
Okay, and then we're gonna do a Q&A after that.
Uh-oh, got locked up. It locked up, it really did. This isn't really a joke, but this is another song. This is a song that I wrote. It's a happier song than the last two. It's not. It's really a sad song too. And it's about trying to find a love life in Los Angeles. It's called Shallow. Hope you like it. All right, where are we at? Yeah, no. Yeah. Half a pill and some water. Talking to somebody's daughter, yeah. Sleep don't come easy. She only call me when she needs me. And I only call her when I need her. Fuck finance and feed her. Her finance is her finance and don't find that illegal. We should take it slowly cause we're only ordinary people. But you know ordinary people hold on to what they should let go. Way longer than they should, they know. It hurts me but it feels so good. And then she's gone again in the morning, yeah. Hello, hello, how long has it been? We share shadows, the darkness is our friend. It's shallow, it's shallow, it's shallow, it's shallow. Hello, hello, how long has it been? Maybe love is overrated, yeah. Or maybe love is just too complicated for us. Or maybe we should do this faded with some chopped lines and boxed wine. Hey, scraping joy up off the mirror. Pop a molly till we cheer up. Sweat to cover all the tears up, tears up. Or maybe we should take it slow, cause we're ordinary people, yeah. And you know ordinary people hold on to what they shouldn't let go. Way longer than they should, they know. It hurts me, but it feels so good. And then she's gone again in the morning. Oh, how long has it been? Yeah. Oh, we share shallow. The darkness is our friend. It's shallow, it's shallow, it's shallow, it's shallow. Hello, hello, how long has it been? Like we're tied with a chain, when we try, nothing changed. We rely on the pain for sure. I'd be lying to say that I want you to stay. But baby, don't leave me, no. I can't let go. I can't let go. We're singing. How long has it been? Yeah. We share shadows. Darkness is our friend. And you know, and you know.
It's shallow.
It's shallow.
It's shallow.
It's shallow.
It's shallow.
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 Hey. Hello, hello.
Hello.
How long has it been?
Here we go.
Thank you. That was the wrong. You see, the lead came in. Never mind. Somebody got fired though. Somebody just got fired right there. Now.
All right, let's get a little lights. What do y'all want to know? We'll start down here.
Music is normally made from a culture. To say that honestly, church helped and hurt my music at the same time. One, it helped me kind of put me in a sound, right? Because gospel has this certain sound. Then for a while, it kind of limited my topics, right? There's so much I couldn't talk about, right? I only made gospel music. For a long time, I made gospel music. But that was also another help, kind of like when you do battle rap, you come up with a bunch of ways to say, I'll shoot you. So, you got to be really creative after a while to come up with new ways to say that. So, but it was a great place to like build, basic music theory, experiment with ad libs. Yeah. Good question. Okay, how do I want to answer this? The answer to this question is really personal to me, okay? The way to do it, though, and it's not necessarily about what you give to someone else. It's more or less about how much of what's personal to you do you put in it, right? There are some stories that have happened to me or to you that are so personal to you that basically you have to tell me that, right? No one else can tell me what happened to you. But there's a piece of that story that all of us have gone through, right? So the goal is, how do I take, I'll give you a good example. If you've ever heard Alessia's album, there's a song on it called Outlaws, right? If you haven't heard it, stream it one time, a song called Outlaws. And the song was about, originally, her parents thought her friends were criminals, right? Because they had long hair, whatever. But she was telling me these very, very specific stories about it. Well, what I got out of it was, we are like a band of thieves. Like the moral of it is that no matter what, we take on the world together, even if they think we're criminals. Well, that's actually how I feel about my mom. So Outlaws is technically about my mother, right? But it was inspired by this thing. You get what I'm saying? So she sings it, and she has a certain feeling in it. The world hears it. They think it's a love song. It's not a love song at all. It's about people who just take on the world together. You get what I'm saying? So it's about kind of masking it until you're ready to just say, okay, here's what happened to me, guys. But you don't have to, these people don't have to know that. These are your experiences, right? And you might want to hold on to them because you're going to need a lot of them. Yeah. I was not rich. I thought I was going to be rich. Didn't happen that way. Here's the thing. But yes, it was a song that made it to a movie soundtrack and actually ended up making it to #1 on the dance charts. It's called Going In. It was her and Flo Rida and Lil Jon, right? It premiered on American Idol, like the season finale that year. I thought, oh, I am filthy rich. Didn't work out that way, right? I got a percentage of the song. I made some money, right? It wasn't a lot of money, but it was more money than I had ever had in my hand at the time. Wasn't a lot of money. I paid off a few bills. I was back to work, right? There's a difference between, and there are sharks out here who will loan you money based on your success. Do not allow that. Wait for your own money, and it will basically teach you how to treat it. Once you get that first check and you blow it, because I would tell you not to blow your first check, but you're gonna blow it. Once you get that first check and you blow it and you realize you have to call your grandma for $100, because I had to call my grandma for $100, you realize, okay, I got to be way more careful than this, right? And your friends are gonna $40 you to death, $20 you to death, and to a certain degree, give it to them because they're your friends. Like, they've given you $20 and $40 when they did, right? So it's just about kind of there's a certain ebb and flow to it. It's hard to just say, well, put all your money in a savings account. That's not real.
Right? You're gonna buy stupid stuff. It just happens. But just learn as quickly as possible not to blow it again. Yeah. Couple ways to do it. Again, when I was talking about making 100%, I mean, you're a songwriter? Okay. As a songwriter, do you perform? Okay. If you're performing things and putting things out and building a fan base of your own, then keep doing that, right? Until you reach a manner of success. Because then what they're going to do is, that's just going to drive up their price, right? So I can't even remember the girl's name. Oh, my God. I can't think of her name. Anderson. I can't remember her name. Anyway, I met a girl not too long ago she's from Indiana, and she had like this song that she had written in her bedroom that was like #1 on iTunes for like a whole day. Can't remember. Laura. That's who it is. Yes. And I'm like, wow, right? Well, when they came to offer her a publishing check, it was way bigger than mine, right? Because she had some success on her own, right? You can also, there are different kinds of pub deals. That's a co-pub deal. Co-pub is like 50-50, right? Here, check this. They got admin deals. Admin deals can be as little as 10%, right? You're going to need someone to administer your publishing at some point, more than likely, because you're not going to call around and find out, well, where was the song played? How many times was it spun? Can I get a BDS on that? You're not doing that, right? So you're going to pay someone to administer your publishing. If you have more success, you can get more money with your admin. If you're coming off the streets just trying to be a songwriter, though, they know that. They know if I offer this kid $150,000 right now, I would sell you my toes. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those kinds of things. But again, not to tell anybody what to do or not to do. Just be mindful of the product that you are. Now I'm not saying be arrogant. I'm just saying bet on you. Okay? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
No, it's not that. Here's the thing about, what I said at the end of that was a record label is a financial institution where the collateral is you. Okay? Keep this in mind. Record labels, like any other financial institution, they take whatever collateral they have and they try to make the most money on it that they can, right? Trust me, artists come into record labels with outlandish ideas. One, how are we going to pay for them? Right? Oh, I want to shoot a video on the moon. Great. So do I. Who's flying a crew to the moon, right? It's not that there's not a lot of, when you hear artists talk about creative control, they're really normally talking about budget control. No one, if you can pay for it yourself, who's going to stop you from doing whatever you want to do? We are not your parents, right? And if it's going to make us some money and you pay for it, yes, do anything you want to do. You're signed to me. Every dollar you make, I make some. You're going to spend your money and make me money, and I do like a genius, and I didn't have to. I'm going to let you do that. Normally when they're talking about creative control, people are really complaining about budget control. Because there's a budget, right? But if you put the budget up for it, there is not a record label on the planet who could tell you nothing.
Yeah, that mean old record label won't let me hire 100 string players for my song. What's
Right,
up with
right.
that?
If you want to pay for it, though, you can pay for it. I will. You know what I normally do when I get that all the time, and I'm normally really happy to hear people's songs. I have to tell the absolute honest God truth about them. Some of them are great and I know it. Some of them are great and I don't know it. Some of them are like, this could be great. I need to find somebody who would understand it, right? Keep in mind, the music industry is a bunch of single opinions, right? So you could play me a song and I think, this is the hardest shit I've ever heard. But I got to convince somebody else of that, right? Because I might not have the budget to sign you or whatever. If you're into like arrangements and things, or sometimes it's easy to like, again, find someone that's moving, slap your name on that, right? That way people hear your name, and music is all about branding. It's all like, if I told you, oh man, Travis Scott produced that last track, you'd be like, what? Play it again, right? Just because you're listening for Travis. So it's those kinds of things, right? But yeah, sure, send me something. I'd love to hear it. Yeah. Okay, yeah. And I don't know exactly what part of it you want me to start on. I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible. But co-writes are really, 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 really important, especially now. Find someone I'm sure there's someone around here that you can stomach listening to, right? Work with them. Write something with them. Get used to the co-write process, right? Get used to I had never written a song with another human being in my life. I was 30. You know what I'm saying? I had never written a song with anybody in my life. These were all my ideas. I made the tracks. I recorded them, you know. But find someone that you like what they do and then just kind of work together. Build a new thing together. It's a really humbling experience to co-write, but it's so rewarding when you hear that thing that you know you couldn't have done alone. And then don't be afraid to a lot of songwriters, they sing, right? And they think of themselves as singer-songwriters. But there are so many singer-songwriters who should just be singers or just be songwriters, right? I should just be a songwriter. I don't know why y'all made me sing today. Whatever, right? But I do like singing, but I'm a songwriter, right? But just, try things out. Don't be afraid of working with other people. That's it. Branding, right? So branding is really important, and when you're new to an industry, especially the songwriting industry, you just want your name everywhere, right? But you want to do good work everywhere you go, right? I have a rule, and it's always been my rule. I am not leaving this room until something is done, right? And it's going to be something I like, right? So every time I went somewhere, we were going to leave that. Now, everybody's not this way. This is just me. We're going to leave here with a song, not like a hook. We're going to have a song today, right? So that I had something to always hand people back, right? They paid for a studio session. Here, I gave you something back. That got me a really good name. Once Alessia blew up, everybody called. I get phone calls all the time from people, I'm just laying in my bed. The way I met Alicia Keys was I was asleep, and she called me. That's it. Had never met her in person or anything. She was like, yeah, I'm going to fly out to New York next week. Who is this? It's Alicia Keys. Okay, great. All right. Yeah, so but being consistent, right? And that's why I tell people about there's no such thing as writer's block. It doesn't exist. Don't fool yourself into thinking that that's real. Some songs are harder to write than others, but write them. Make that a habit. Be consistent. People will hear about that, and they want to work with you. Everybody's looking for a next big hit. They don't care where they get it from.
There's a book that Billy suggests called The War of Art, and there's a great line in it where he says, the muse will not come until you sit down and start doing the work.
Oof.
If you didn't hear, she said critique process. What is your process like?
Okay. Well, I think of all the songs I've written, if I had to go, my best songs are blah, 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 right? Most of the time when you write something, if you're critiquing yourself or critiquing someone else. Okay. Most of the time when you write something, there's always going to be a piece of it that's really good, that you like, this melody right here is really, really good. But my normal, how am I saying this? When I know a song is great is when I listen to it from start to finish and I say, that's exactly how I feel. I did not waste a line. I did not waste a melody. I didn't just do that because it sounded cool. That's the feeling. When I feel like that about a song, that's great. And that's hard to do sometimes, but trust me, that's great.
One more, Michael.
You have to remember the following thing. Are you a songwriter? Okay. You have been a songwriter hungry, happy, poor, horny, Christian, atheist, Muslim, right? You have the one thing that single in a relationship, the one thing you have always been, buddy, songwriter. I don't, you get what I'm saying? That's really, I've always been a songwriter, bro. I've had some great days I could write some songs about. I've had some horrible days I could write some, but I am still a songwriter, right? And remember that. What's a bad day? It's another song, right? That's another song. Somebody else having a bad day too. They want to hear about it. Yeah.
Let's thank our friend and colleague Praise for the interview and Sebastian Kole.